We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Fright Night Issue 1. This is a 2021 series from American Mythology, written by James Kuhoric, art by Jason Craig, Neil Vokes, J. Geldhof, Matt Webb, and colors by Beezzz Studio, Jeremy Kahn, letters by Natalie Jane. We start off with this woman who looks maybe Middle Eastern or Egyptian, and she is drinking someone's blood, and then we jump straight into a recap of the movie Fright Night, and it's a good summation. It's surprisingly shorter than I expected, about 6 pages, which is pretty impressive that they did sum it up very succinctly in that time frame. And then it turns out that Peter Vincent wrote the book Fright Night for real. That's the name of it, Fright Night for real. And he looks a lot different than Roddy McDowall because he's a different person. The Roddy McDowall character was the character he wrote. And this Peter Vincent in real life has this young lady's sidekick, and they're at a book signing, and he's recapping the story by talking about his book. And it's an interesting way of doing that. Then we jump over to Brewster. He's getting bullied in school, and his girlfriend wants nothing to do with him anymore. She looks like she's joining the softball team. If that's a metaphor, I'm not real sure. Maybe. You never know these days. Then we are reintroduced to this lady vampire with the cool outfit, and she is going to retrieve the evidence, specifically the ashes of Jerry Dandrige. And apparently he was one of her children, one of her dearest children. We also get a hint as to what happened to Ed. We do get a glance at a missing poster on the back of a milk carton, and we see that Brewster's problems are probably just beginning. So while Charlie's having girlfriend problems, vampires are back in town, probably looking for revenge. Now, the art is a very, very mixed bag. The recap art that takes place during the original Fright Night movie, I hate that style. I absolutely hate it. It's very cartoony and doesn't fit the theme at all. It looks more like something you'd see in a funny book or an Archie book, and not a serious thing like a vampire story. Yes, there are comedic elements in here, but largely it's a vampire story, and I don't think that art style fits at all. It's the wrong type of art for even a remotely serious or horror story. It just doesn't fit at all. Now, the rest of the art, it varies in quality quite drastically. The scenes where Peter Vincent is at the book signing are really good overall, but there's a lot of proportion issues and consistency issues. You can tell some scenes had more time devoted to them. Like when Amy's playing baseball, she looks a lot more well drawn than some of the scenes later. Even the scenes where the vampire woman is collecting the evidence are done much better than later in the book. So the art is definitely a work in progress for the artist. I just think it's very unrefined and needs a lot more work. It definitely is not ready for the major leagues. So I think the artist needs to really work on perspective shots a little bit and physique, because a lot of times arms don't look quite right and body proportions aren't very good. That's the biggest problem, is the body proportions. But overall, I would say it was a good book. I had a lot of fun reading it. The story was great. It reminded me of the old Now Comics line of Fright Night books. And while Tom Holland's name is on the cover, he's the guy that wrote the original movie and a book follow-up, which I've had a lot of trouble finding that book. It's usually really expensive. But overall, I'm going to recommend this despite the problems with the art, because I think the story is really good. It'd be really nice if they got like Allan Martinez to do the interior art, because he's a really good artist over at American Mythology, and I really like the cover he did for the book. He did a great cover. This cover's really, really good. So I wish they would have gotten him to do the interior art, but overall, I still enjoyed the book, so not a lot of complaints on that front. So I have high hopes that this series is going to be good, and it looks like it's off to a good start. It's picking up right after the first movie, and it's a different take on the second movie. This is how it looks anyway. So I'm going to give it a couple more issues and see how it plays out, but so far I'm pretty happy with it. That's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to different ways to support me, and as always, we hope to see you on the next one.